Hello, everyone. Great to see so many faces. Welcome to the greatest Rotary Club in the universe.
Yay.
Sorry, I'm supposed to let you say that. Invocation, John.
Thanks, President-elect Travis. Let us pray. Bill, it's only going to be 15 minutes, so don't worry about it. Yeah, let us pray. May our Heavenly Father bless the work of the Sedro Woolley Rotary Club, guide us in our mission to serve, protect our members and their families, and bless this food and fellowship. Amen.
And the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and new president, going to make some changes, so we're not going to sing today. I got a lot of hard time from John Janicki. He said, I guess we'll see how depressing the meeting is then.
You guys are all sad.
We're not actually. But Mike, I appreciate your input. And we're not going to do the four-way test today, so you can all be seated. All right, when I was here last, I told you guys I was going to start easing you into some changes. I'm not suggesting we're not going to sing or say the four-way test, but just trying a few things on for size today. So I told Tucker he has to be careful when he gives me the mic. Okay, do we have any visiting Rotarians? I didn't see any. How about any guests of Rotarians?
For our people that are virtual, have Niall with us. We're inviting Niall to the auction because he brought in the carvers that are going to be there. And so it's going to be super exciting. So welcome, Niall.
I'm pretty sure John missed you, Niall, because you're kind of an honorary Rotarian. So we love having you here. All right. So some club business announcements. Let me start with Becky Eldey on installation.
I want you to mark your calendars for June 30th. That is a Tuesday night, and we're going to install Travis Huisman. So we're going to start the festivities around 5:30. We'll have about an hour for happy hour, and Double Barrel's going to be catering for us again. They did a great job last year. So we're putting everything together for Travis's big night. Another announcement is we have the district conference coming up. It's only 2 hours from here in Harrison Hot Springs, May 1st and 2nd. So go on the district site, sign up, and I know several of us are going, so it'll be a really fun time. Here, yes. June 30th for the installation and May 1st and 2nd for the district conference. Tuesday.
Okay, great. Anybody else have announcements from the floor? Nick.
Yeah, don't talk about it. If anybody knows anyone, I have an open job at my office. We're expanding a little bit. We're hiring another office assistant. So if you know of anyone in the community that think be good fit, let me know.
Nick, I might be interested. I'll talk to you later. Okay, great. Any others? Okay, so a few announcements that I have. First off, I just want to say thank you to Team April. And so I'm just going to read their names real quick here. So we have Eric, Chuck Rule, Chris Schaffner, John Janicki, Ken Van Loo, Jim Dillon, Rick Teserick. Sorry, obviously not Jim Dillon, Rick Teserick, Bruce Berglund. So I think Eric and John, only ones here today?
That would be correct. Ken Van Loo is in Florida. We are giving special dispensation to Chuck, given his particular situation. And then it's just John and I.
Okay, well, thank you guys.
We're a small team, but we're high quality.
Yes.
That's right.
Small
Quality.
but mighty.
And we're gonna do a petition about the song later.
Okay, in-person auction meetings, one regular meeting a month. So May 7th is a work party. That's when we're doing the load and prep at 4 p.m. delivery bar setup. May 8th is set up all hands on deck. So just so you all have those times set aside in your calendars, we can use all of you there. May 16th coming up is the Epic Day of Service, Rotary's Epic Day of Service. And so what that is all the clubs in the Valley are getting together, and like we did last year at Helping Hands Food Bank, this year it's out at Camp Anderson, which is YMCA camp on the east side of Lake 16. And so we're getting together. They have some trail clearing, some readying the beach for the kids in the summer, some planting. And so we could use all of your help there. Figure gloves, rakes, weed eaters, that sort of thing. And there will be more information on timing and where we all meet as we get closer. Let's see. Also, Becky handed me also from the Y. There's a Healthy Kids Day free to the public. That's April 18th, 12:30 to 3:30 at the YMCA. So I have this information. I'll put it on the table right here if anybody's interested in that. Okay, great. Okay, any other announcements or club business? Okay, great. Raffle.
We have a raffle. First number is 2727. Spinning the wheel. And Helen's Vineyard Wine and Cheese Plate. Thank you. Thank you. We'll get that to you in a second.
Cheese might be a little bad.
Thank you. So today it's the Battle of the Sevens, 5-7, 57. Sergeant at Arms pays $2. Really? You're making me pay $2 on top of all my other fines? I appreciate that, John. And 34. John takes the wine. And being that we're all in revolution here, we're going to do a fourth one instead of the normal 3. If that's okay with you, Presidente. And last but not least, 15. Hey, Niles. He's spinning. $50 gift card to Sedro Woolley Florist. Nice. Right. Now we're gonna move on at the president's revolutionary request. We're not gonna do any trivia today, but I do have, to raise some money, a down and dirty way of doing this. As you can see, I'm gonna call myself out. I have no name tag. I left it at home. So if anybody doesn't have a name tag or doesn't have it on, that's $1. For April, since we've just started the month of April, if you have a birthday in April, that'll be $2. If you have an anniversary in April, that'll be $2. If you were in the news recently, Madam Mayor, that'll be $2. If you have not bought auction tickets yet, and you guys know who you are, you need to buy them quick. That's $2. And if you have not turned in your 3 auction items, everybody, each one of us needs to turn in 3 auction items. I will admit I've only turned in 2. I have a 3rd one in the works, but I will find myself again. Is it the truth? So if you haven't gotten your 3 items in to Sherry at Stiles and Laird, that's another $2. The auction items, 3. If you haven't gotten them into Sherry at Stiles and Lair, there's another 2. And then last but not least, our poor president-elect, his table is completely empty. No love. I love you, Travis.
Thank you.
I love you. So everybody owes him $1 in fines. And with that, we're on to Happy Bucks. Is anybody happy? Yes.
I'm gonna actually Venmo Happy 20. They broke ground on my house this week. So I actually have a foundation poured and a septic tank going in. So they're finally building my house. So that's a happy 20 for that. And then I'll throw in another 5. My office assistant or gal ended up giving a 2-week notice, and we found somebody in less than a week, and she's perfect. She's a 2025 graduate from Sedro Woolley High School. So Nick, if you need somebody to talk to, I know who can help find you somebody. So
Thank you.
I have a happy 50. If you didn't know, I had a heart surgery in November. Yesterday, hopefully, is the last part of that procedure that I have. I had a couple ablations at Skagit, which turned out well, I think. So we'll see. I'm happy about that.
I have some happy bucks for change. Thanks, you guys donated 20,000 to rodeo, and we spent it already. And so all the panels should be here in 2 weeks. Get it? 2 weeks.
Anybody else?
I gave Steve 5 happy bucks. I've been gone for a couple months down in Arizona. It was lovely, beautiful weather there. It was nothing like you see outside. And I attended every Rotary meeting. I went to their fundraiser. We had just a blast.
Anybody else? You got one?
So I don't know if Maggie's online, but a week ago, she got engaged to Michael. He's been to a couple of these events and super excited. Maggie's on cloud 9 and just ordered her dress, and so super excited. Probably a small little gathering, but really happy for Maggie.
Anybody else? All right. Back to you, President.
Okay. So I guess it's time for early leavers. Sure. Sure, you can do it now. And Carl, I'm going to call Carl out a little bit just because I love Carl. So Carl approached me and said he was going to be an early leaver. And he apologized. I told Carl that's fine because I'm never worried about getting his opinion. Okay, so thanks everybody for being here. I hope today is going to be kind of a fun process. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk just a little bit here at the start, but then we're going to together answer some questions and see the live results up on the screen. And there's no doubt that this is going to take some knowledge of technology. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So there's QR codes on your table. And really all you have to do is take your camera, hover it over the QR code, and you'll see a link pop up. When you click on the link, it'll take you to a website to answer these polls. The poll isn't live quite yet, so you can certainly click on the link and get there and have it open. And as soon as I make the poll go live, you'll see the questions. So while you're all kind of doing that, let me talk just a little bit about what this is and why we're doing it. So I've already shared with you a little bit about club visioning. And so we're going to go through a club visioning process over the next 3-4 months together. Just yesterday, we had a club visioning committee meeting, and we decided that there's going to be 3 key things we are going to try and do as a club to help with the visioning process. And ultimately, the purpose of a vision is for the club to have some purpose and direction and alignment around that purpose. And one of the things we talked about at the visioning committee is this club has so much amazing history and powerful members and activity that it's kind of just a lot of momentum that carries us forward year after year. And to some degree, we've gotten into cruise control mode. And there's no doubt that the work we do here is really good. We do a lot of great work. We raise a lot of great money that all goes back into our community. We have a lot of fellowship. I personally have a lot of friends in this club that I do things with outside. I know you all do too. And that's what we did last year, and that's what we did the year before, and that's what we did the year before. And so I think it's a good time to just dust that off and say, is that what we want to do next year and the year after? So that's what the visioning process is. My goal would be coming out of the visioning process that we all have a unified idea of what our purpose is at the Sedro Woolley Rotary Club. And we can align all of our effort and activity around that purpose. So that's the goal. So we decided on 3 key things we're going to do. The first is a club survey. That's what this process is going to start. And so the club survey is going to be mostly about our engagement as a club. And is this club meeting your expectations for what Rotary is to you? Are you feeling engaged? Are there things we could change to help with that? Obviously, we have 95 members in the club, and everybody's going to have a different opinion. And we're not going to make everybody perfectly happy. But I think we can probably engage in some changes that will ready the club for the next 10, 20 years. Any of you that are, in any kind of leadership positions in business or government or anything that deals with the multi-generations that are at work right now, that it's challenging to kind of satisfy all those generations. They all think differently, they all behave differently, and they all need different things out of our Rotary Club. So that's part of this club survey process, is figuring out what is that, what do we have to do, can we make some changes that would help this club really increase our engagement. So we talked about the last time I was up here, for about the last 10 years, we've had, maybe even more than that, we've had 95-ish members, between 90 and 100 members. And before COVID, we had probably 40 to 50 pretty active people. That's dropped since COVID. So we have the same 95 average members, but typically at a meeting now or at work parties or service events that we're doing, the engagement is not very high. So I'd like to figure out, can we change that? We don't need more members. I mean, more members are absolutely welcome, but what we really need is more of those 95 to be engaged and getting out of Rotary what they came into Rotary for. Okay, so that's the first thing, the club. The second is we want to do a community assessment, a community survey. Ask the community, what do they need from the Rotary Club? In the past, we have done a lot of really amazing projects, and that may very well be what the club or what the community needs from us going forward. And there may be things that aren't even on our radar. I would say probably my experience the last 5-7 years, it's been difficult for us as a club to even come up with what those projects are that we should be spending our money on. We talk about some, I'm going to say excuses. They're not really excuses, but we talk about things like, well, it's hard to do things because of liability reasons. It's hard to do things because of permitting. It's hard to do things because we don't get enough active engagement. We don't have construction people in the club anymore. All those are absolutely reasons, but we can overcome them if we really wanted to. We just have to decide, is that what we want to do as a club? And is that what our community needs? Okay, so that's the second thing, community survey. The third thing is we're going to go through a visioning process. In the business world, we call that a strategic planning process. It's pretty similar, but District 5050 has a visioning group, and they will come help us go through a visioning process. They'll facilitate it. And to do that, we'll probably want, 15 to 20 diverse members in our club to go through that process. And anybody can be involved in it, but we want at least 15 to 20. And it's like a 6-hour, 8-hour process. And hopefully coming out the other side, we have some clarity about purpose and things that are important to the club and where we're going. Okay, so those are the three things that the visioning committee agreed to work on together. And so thank you to the visioning committee. I'll talk more about them later. For today, I want to get right into doing this process together. So what we're going to do, we're going to put, for those of you that haven't used this tool before, it's called Slido. It's an online polling app. And basically, we're going to put up a question on the screen. You're going to use your phone to answer the question. Your answers will be anonymous. There's no names associated with your response. And it'll display the responses up on the screen. So as an example, if there's 4 options and I'm asking you to rank them, it'll show the average ranking across the whole club. So we can just see the live results and we can chat about them quickly if we want or not and move on. Our goal in the visioning committee is to take this information, plus we're going to send out a survey following this for anybody that isn't here today. We're going to take that as feedback, and then the visioning committee will give our board recommendations on changes to the club or changes to the meetings based on that data. Okay. So my invite to you is you're all members of this club. All of your opinions, perspectives are super important. I don't care if you're new, you've been in the club forever. I don't care your demographic. It doesn't matter. All of our perspectives are important. We're all members of this club. So please answer honestly. Don't overthink it. Like a lot of times our first response to a question is probably the best response. So don't overthink it. Have fun with it. And just share the reality from your perspective. If we don't get honest answers, it's going to be hard to, it's going to be garbage in, garbage out, right? So, all right. So you guys ready to try the first one? Okay. Any questions? Yeah. What if you don't have a phone? That's so I will be sending the survey. Could this anonymous friend have email? Do you have email? Okay, so the survey is going to go out via email after. If you don't have a phone or email, your opinion's not important to us. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, hang on one second. Any other questions? Okay, we're going to do the first one. It's an important question, but it's kind of a test. You guys can kind of see how this works. you're not going to mess up the test. You're not going to get kicked out of Rotary if you grade it wrong. So just, okay, give me your best answer. So in the way this works is if multiple people say service, it gets bigger. Anybody having trouble with the technology that needs help? Okay, a couple more minutes. Okay, everybody get their answer in? Okay, so what I was saying is what this shows, those are all words that somebody in the audience answered, and the bigger that they are, the more the word was used. Okay, so in this club, it looks like community, well, service and community service above self, those were the most used, and fellowship is a close number 4. Okay. Any questions about how that works? Okay. Any surprises in the responses? Anybody want to talk about any of it? Don't speak it all at once. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so it looks like average 3.8 out of 5. So that's good news. That surprises me a bit. Yep. That's fair. Yep. Hey, did we share this? Is Aldi able to see it? Okay, all right.
Hey Aldi, can you tell
Okay,
us if you're
hold
doing
that
this
thought.
survey or not?
Yeah, I actually scanned the QR code and it's working.
All right, good. All right, let's move on to the next question. I think on this one, you like have to click and drag them into the right order. No. Okay, did everybody get a chance to answer? Any surprises in the ranking? Wow. Okay. Any discussion? I'm kind of surprised by some of the ranking. All right, good. Ready for the next one? Okay, let's do it. You guys are whipping through this. You were the first ones to finish tests in school too, weren't you? Okay, great. That seems pretty in line with the first question we had. So the first question is, I think was what we are, more like what we are getting from Rotary, and this one's what we want out of Rotary. So I guess that's good. Okay. Ready for the next one? Let's go to the next one. At least you guys are paying attention. What's that? Yes, I agree. I think those folks are the ones we're at risk of losing if we don't find a way to engage them. And maybe the somewhat folks. But I'm really glad to see we don't have anybody here that answered not at all. Maybe they didn't want to, but. Any discussion about this? You guys are surprisingly not talkative. Louis said he was going to hold his discussion to 1,000 words or less. Huh? Oh, you can't hear me. Louis said he was going to hold his discussion to 1,000 words or less. We're not going to give him the mic. All right, you ready for the next one? Okay, who thinks Rotary experience is gooey? I think there's some super good intelligence in that. Okay, any discussion on that one?
One of the problems with surveys is it doesn't maybe give an answer to that question, but it doesn't tell you why. So,
Yeah.
for instance, you could not have a great experience with Rotary right now. It has nothing to do with the club.
That's fair.
Right? And so the club's going to try to change something. And it may have everything to do with it. That survey's not going to tell you.
So how do we find that?
You gotta take a look.
Yeah. Right.
People might have family issues.
Yeah, like I totally agree with John. Like you look at some of these words, let's see, unfulfilling. I'd love to ask, okay, what would be fulfilling or why is it unfulfilling? Coasting, what does that mean to you? And there's some really good words in there too, fulfilling, connected, enlightening. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the four big words, it's, maybe let's see, okay, I guess is the third. Okay is probably, that's definitely a question that needs some follow-up. What does okay mean? Yeah, when we get done with both this and the email, we'll compile all the data and send it out to you guys. If we can get them to fill it out. Yep. Yeah, when creating these surveys, you have the choice to allow people to give multiple answers, and I chose not to just so I'd get your first gut reaction, but it is pretty limited to give one word. All right. Yep. Okay, next question. Here's your question, John. So the way I now I'm looking at this question, I'm like, okay, it maybe should have been a yes or no, because I'm wondering like the 24% in the middle, what does that mean? Sometimes, okay. Yeah, take it or leave it. Depends on my mood. Okay, great. Next question. Okay, good. Looks like the vast majority want to keep Thursday at lunch. And I think there's maybe some indication there that having some options once in a while is good also. Okay. Great. Next question. That's pretty evenly dispersed. Any discussion on this one? Okay. Next question. Hey, Tim, could you answer my emails while you have my phone? Just get rid of all of them. All right. That one's pretty clear. One more here. Okay, any discussion on this one? Yeah. Yeah.
So
Does anybody who put the word engagement in want to share what they mean by engagement?
sure, I'll pipe in here. So I was actually gonna even just out myself and say that I did engagement. But for me, engagement, it meant more of the club engaging in its members. Like, so, for example, maybe the younger Rotarians, we don't exactly have the best track record of attendance, but I also know that there's not a whole lot of reaching out to them to try to engage with them. So I mean that was kind of my thought process, is not just like the members showing up every Thursday, for the club, but also the club reaching out to members for what they need as well.
So I'm gonna follow, thank you for doing that. I'm gonna follow that up with a thought, because I'll tell you already, as president-elect, one of the things I'm hearing already is all of the great ideas that you all have about how to make the club better. And not a lot of people raising their hand saying, and so therefore I will do X to make it better. We're all volunteers. And so first off, if we're going to make these changes, I, as president-elect, I'm not going to make all these changes by myself. It's going to take people. So yes, we need people reaching out to younger members. Who's going to do it? Yes, we need better retention. Who's going to do it? Yes, we need better programs and speakers. You know, I can't, since the last time I presented and speakers came up quite a bit, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, we had some great speakers about XYZ. And my response is going to be, great, go line them up. So it's going to take all of us to engage and make the club better. So just a word of caution. So if you have great ideas, I would love to hear how you're going to make that happen. And that's not to like scare you off from having ideas. So please have ideas, but we're going to need help. Carl.
Included and impactful, not just present.
So I hate to do this to you, but can you repeat that with the mic?
2 turntables and a microphone. Okay, engagement means giving every member a clear, meaningful way to contribute and see the results. So the bottom line is, so people stay engaged when they feel useful, included and impactful, not just present.
Great. Anybody else? Thanks, Carl. Okay, y'all ready for the next one? John, if you want to sing at the end of the meeting, we can. Great. I think one of the natural, like if you're a person whose mindset is continuous improvement and always striving to be better, sometimes that can come across to other people that we're not doing a good job. And I don't ever want this process that we're going to go through the visioning about that we're not doing a good job. Anybody that's gone to Pels will tell you that we are a pretty standout club. We do a lot of things really well. We have a great fellowship. We do great projects. And so I don't ever want this process to feel like that's what we're saying. It's all about just improving and getting ready for the future. So I wanted this question because I want you guys all to think about, there are a lot of really great things we're doing that we shouldn't change. Okay. Great. Next question. Okay, there's some really interesting stuff up there. Anybody willing to share what they offered and why? Chris, hold on, wait for the mic.
I love the invocations. I love, I like hearing what people say and their thanks. There are people that I've not invited to the club because of the prayers. I think that we could change it up a little bit and still have the same feel to it.
Anyone else? Brian.
All right, so I started the obscure trivia trend, and I'm glad it caught on a little bit. It loses everybody's attention. Nobody knows any of the answers. It's not a good way of raising money. That's my opinion. Also, I'm going to say this as the one of the younger people of the group. I did not write nothing, and I'd be very cautious to say that nothing should be changed. And I think that's a poor way of looking at things. So now that everyone's pissed at me, I'll pass the mic off.
I think continuous improvement is important. However, I don't think that always means doing something different. Sometimes I think it can be better at what you already do. And there's a lot of different clubs with a lot of different identities, which gives people freedom to plug into where they belong. For me, I think that, just our auction theme, we have a very historic community and a lot of good roots here. So I'm attracted to the seniorness of the club and the roots of the club. So for me, I don't want to become something different for what I can get anywhere else in the new, younger, generation and what changes. I like the fact that we have roots and stability here that I think even the younger group can learn from and can take advantage of. So yeah, change, get better, reconnect, replug in, but not necessarily become something else that's also already available elsewhere. That's my opinion.
Bill.
I just like to agree with Chris. I think that the prayer, depending on what is said, is sometimes off-putting. I would like to follow the leadership or the example of the LaConner Club, and they have what they call a moment or word of inspiration, rather than something that is pointed toward a particular religious philosophy. I think that that's one thing I really like about attending the LaConner Club.
That's great. Anybody else? Okay. I think we only have one more. Next question. So this is your opportunity. You can type in whatever you want. It's not just one word. You can type in full paragraphs if you want. And I think it just scrolls on the screen and will capture all the ideas. And like it says, please keep it productive. And we're not pointing fingers at anybody. I know you guys have mostly been heads down responding. I've been reading through them and there is just pure gold in that. So I really appreciate you guys responding. And I really appreciate you engaging in this survey. Again, I'll just say this is our club and we can do with it whatever we want that makes the most sense for all of us. And if we all have some kind of vision aligned around a purpose, this thing could be going 50 years from now. And I think we would all like to think that that's an opportunity for our kids, our grandkids in this community. So you're going to see some more about this when we get all done with this. Sorry. I'm a fidgeter, so I'm going to probably knock this off 100 times. When we get all done with this, we'll tabulate the data and get it back to you guys. And I think, you know, at that point, we can make some decisions. I think to John's point, some of what we're going to find out of this survey is we need deeper discussions about key areas, because the survey is just an indicator of an area where we need more research, more work. And some of, I think, the data that comes out of here will be pretty clear. There's areas where we can make change or shift focus or re-engage focus on existing things. So just appreciate it a lot, you guys. This was fun to watch. I think it was a valuable exercise. One of the comments I saw is we should do this annually. I fully agree. And let's just make this part of how we operate the club and how we can keep it humming. So yes, Brian.
I just noticed this, that you can actually like some of these comments or thumbs up. I think that would be really cool if everyone did that if they wanted to.
Great.
One opinion or many people.
Great point. If you didn't hear that, you can go through the comments and like them. See the thumbs up on the right-hand side. And that's another great way to score, you know, kind of help us focus in on what you guys all think is really important. So before I close the meeting, anybody have any comments, any thoughts that they want to share? Louis. Somebody get Louis a mic.
One of the things that I've noticed over the years, when I started out in Rotary, almost every member was either a business owner or they were involved in high-level administration. And as you can see by the type of members we have now, it's a full spectrum of people that are either business owners or, you know, people that work for somebody or maybe retired too. And I think we need to come up with something that would help get the people that are having a difficult time of making a noon meeting every Thursday to try to find a way that we can get those people involved. And I know we did some research on, I think Sheena did research on that to see who was not attending and maybe find out some of the reasons why they're not attending. Because being on the committee that we bring everybody in, they all say, oh yeah, we can make the meetings, not a problem. Or we can do this or that, and it doesn't happen. And to get to the root of that, I'm not sure how you would do that. The other thing that I like to comment about is when we did larger projects, and I worked on a project for 2 years before I even was asked to be a member, but I could see what Rotary was doing in the community. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Well, I was eventually asked to be a member. And then when we did projects like Hammer Heritage, Pat's Playground, we had people that said, it looks like this is a good organization to be with. Guys like John Schmidt and many others throughout those projects came and joined Rotary. And a lot of those are still here. So I think there's some other things, some other avenues that we can look at. I know we did talk a little bit about how we can improve attendance, but it's a very difficult thing to do if you're on a job and you can't leave every Thursday at noon. But bigger projects that we do that span a couple of years, I've seen us gather some really good members over the years. Thank you.
I just want to say one other thing is that kind of like maybe in an AA meeting, you know, if you're sponsoring somebody to come into this meeting, you should probably find out why they're not here. I haven't brought anybody personally into the meeting. I have a couple people I would love to make Rotarians, but I'm not ready to take on that responsibility quite yet and make sure that they're actively involved. So, if you sponsored somebody to come in the meeting and you haven't seen them for a while, I mean, that's kind of, I would think, part of your responsibility. So.
I really have to take care of my cataracts. Everything's a blur to me up there, but I think I saw that someone said to have fewer live auction items. I think the issue is spend less time doing the live auction rather than having fewer items. It may amount to the same thing, but when you attend the auction many times, as I have over the years, you notice that people just start to glaze over after probably a little less than 2 hours. So I think that I've preached this forever and no one ever has made any significant change of it. I think they tried once, but even if it means that we raise a little less money, I think that's a black mark on our auction when it goes too long.
I'm going to piggyback just real quick off Louis' comments. Not just the meetings, but also the projects. I know that there's been projects that I've been wanting to be a part of, but they're midday, and getting away midday of a workday is just not in the options. Then when you're a young family, your weekends are not your weekends. They're your kids. And so that makes it difficult too. So maybe be more strategic about when we do projects and maybe diversifying the times and not just weekends or middays, but maybe some more like late afternoon, evening projects, especially as the season goes on and it's sunnier and drier and more light out.
Any others? Okay, well, we are way over time. Oh, yes, John.
Ruth isn't here, but she has been doing an unbelievable job on the auction. And so anyone's a slacker that hasn't got their job done, let's get it done. Volunteer, whatever we have to do. We're on the last little sprint. I have not been very active. I've been busy doing other stuff. But let's really, if you have anything on your items that need to get done, let's get them done and support Ruth. So it'll work out really good. It's a great theme. Super excited for the theme. So let's just get it done.
Thanks, John. And tagging onto that, by the way, so two really important people to our auction, Danny and Ruth, and both are not doing their roles next year. They've done enough in those roles. So we have some big shoes to fill for next year as well. So think about that and think about how we can do it. All right, that's all I have. Thank you guys very much. Oh, one more. Oh, sorry. I do have an announcement. Sorry, Mark. Mark wanted me to let everybody know that the Paul Harris Award nominees will be closed next Thursday, 1 week from today. So think about who you would like to nominate. Make sure you get those in to Mark or his team in the next week. Okay, thank you.